Hey, Coach, go ahead and make an opening statement, then we'll open for questions.
Well, I'm disappointed for our guys because, like I told them after the game, I'm not disappointed in the result. I'm disappointed for them because I think that the attitude, work ethic, and, the togetherness has been as good as it's ever been here. And the workload going into Iowa was exactly the same coming from Iowa. And every single game in this league requires you not only to play, hard and tough and all that stuff, smart, but you have to play well too. I mean, you have to play well to be in these games. I mean, Rutgers is a good team. They've had a great season. I know they struggled here coming in. They battled a lot of injuries, and they're a bona fide big-time team, and, just like Iowa was. And we were able to be successful and crack, the Iowa game with our defense. And today, Rutgers did a really good job of dribble penetration. We had a hard time keeping them off the bounce, in particular on the perimeter. And offensively, to start the second half, the game really changed with the 5 turnovers in the first 4 or 5 minutes. We had 3 turnovers at halftime. We finished with 12. So we ended up having 9 turnovers in the second half, which to me was the big difference in the game. We could have made more layups. We didn't finish around the basket very well, but finishing the game with 12 turnovers after having 3 at the half, big difference in the complexion of the game. And then just for 40 minutes, really defensively, we had a hard time guarding the ball. And, but it's one of 20. And just like the Iowa game was, like I told them after the Iowa game, everyone's going to talk about how great it is, but bottom line is Rutgers is just as good, and the next one's going to be just as good. They all count the same. I just want our guys to believe in how much room we continue to have to grow. You can see it in our bench. You can see it in our young guys coming in. They're playing better. Jerome's playing better. Anthony, Christian, Jordan playing better, and so we're getting some more contributions. We just need to get a little bit more consistency.
Alex.
Archie, you guys were 35%, I think, today on twos. Was that a product of them maybe forcing you into some tough long twos, or you guys just really not executing in terms of getting the right shots at certain times?
Yeah, the 2-point percentage was really dictated by how they played. I thought they dropped back with their size, especially at the center position. You kept him in between the rim and the players. Kind of made it like a 2-on-2 game. You're able to get down there, but you're not able to get some clean ones. And we missed some good ones. I think Trace probably left 4 or 5 shot attempts, that you would take over again. I don't think we got him the ball enough tonight. I don't think he did a good job of being really physical around the basket. Got to watch the film. But Trace didn't have his best offensive performance just in and around the rim, and us being able to get him the ball. And our guards didn't finish. The ones that they did have good looks, they didn't finish. So 2-point field goal percentage defense to me, that was a byproduct of how Rutgers chose to play. I mean, we did go 10 for 16 from 3. Everyone says we can't shoot. We ended up going 10 for 16 from 3. And if we make 10 threes in a game, that's usually pretty good. So the telling sign to me was we either really turned it over or we didn't guard. And second half, we did turn it over, and we had a hard time guarding them all game.
Mike Schumann.
Yeah, Coach, I know guarding the ball was a point of emphasis coming in against these guys. Did they throw anything at you that surprised you?
No. Coming into the game, talking about what we needed to do in the game and how we worked into the game, there wasn't any surprises. I thought them changing their lineup, put Baker in much more of a primary role. Young has been way more primary role with the ball in his hands. And I thought Baker had a really good day. Connell played a lot more today. McKay played a lot more today. But, in general, I thought they got a lot of contributions by the players that, have been playing for them. And there wasn't a whole lot of secrets. I mean, they did what they did. And we had a very, like I said, a difficult time just keeping the ball in front.
Greg.
Yeah, Archie, you sort of referenced it about Trace leaving some things out there. He got his first 2 shots of the game blocked and had a turnover. Do you think he was sort of was he into it? Was he taken out of it a little bit by that?
I'm not real sure. I will say this, that I think that Miles Johnson is one of the best interior defenders in the country. I've been saying that since he was a young guy. He has unbelievable instincts in stealing the ball as a big guy, around the shoulders of the post guys, elbow catches, deflected passes. He has a quick hands and unbelievable length. But the thing that he has a great job of doing is he can stay between you and the basket with his size, but he also has unbelievable timing. He blocks shots. So I think early in the game, it takes some getting used to playing against a guy like him because it's not easy. But as the game wore on, you could tell he impacted the game with his defensive presence. Trace didn't get as many clean ones. We couldn't get it to him as much. It's a byproduct of their team, in general. Defensively, they're always known for their stickiness, but he definitely impacts the game on a defensive front. And obviously, we'll play him later in the year, but we have to do a better job of getting him established like we normally do in every game. But this wasn't one of his best offensive performances, and you got to give Rutgers some credit for that.
Jeff,
Hey, Coach, what do you feel the issues are with losses often following wins over ranked teams over the past few years? Is there any pattern there, anything you can point to on that?
No.
Tom,
Archie, the struggles with guarding it on the perimeter and that is, what can you do to change that, or is it just more of an effort thing?
It was an effort. I think part of it was we had some breakdowns today, just in terms of communication. And, every team is different too. It's not like every team runs the same plays and you just guard the ball. I mean, Rutgers is a driving team. They have terrific offensive one-on-one players. That's how they play. Ron Harper's at the 4, tough matchup for anybody. Between Baker, Young, Connell, Mathis, those guys are all hard attacking, driving guys. And we got whipped straight lines. And we also had some real breakdowns in communication just on execution of switches or execution of certain type of coverage. And I thought we were bad in execution of the system. That's been a part of our problem. We were much better against Iowa in being able to execute. We weren't as good today, in being able to communicate and talk and keep the ball in front. But that Rutgers is a good driving team. And I thought that our defense would be tighter. It wasn't. But they got us in some rotations too that shouldn't have happened. And we didn't need to be in as many rotations as that.
last question, Zach.
Archie, sorry to kind of ask, I guess, sort of a similar question to last week, but you're throwing another curveball here with the schedule, with what's going on up at Michigan. I mean, I know you guys had avoided a lot of that up until last week. How do you start to maybe handle a little bit of the uncertainty going forward? Do you think it's something where the league may juggle some things schedule-wise, or is it something where maybe you are looking at this as more of an extended layoff period?
I don't know. It seems to me that, our league in general is starting to get hit a little bit with some new stuff. And it's not all bad. You don't have to jam 132 games in just to get them in. I think the players in general have been going strong here for a long time. If there are some layoffs, maybe the layoffs are beneficial. It's hard to go like they've been going, but I think there's probably all options are on the table. Certain teams are now being impacted that have availability, and they reschedule a game and flip it around. Maybe that's something they can do. If they can't, you take a longer pause. That's not all bad either. You just kind of roll with the punches at this point, like we did a week ago. And whatever happens, happens. But you have to be ready to go when it gets turned around. So if the next one is Illinois at home, that's the one that we got to lock in on. If they change the schedule and say, hey, would you like to be able to flip some things around? Would you like to play? Yeah, I think all our guys would love to play rather than have 9 or 10 off or 8 or 9 days off. But I think the big thing is let's just make sure that we're doing what's best for the guys, and hopefully the Michigan situation isn't crazy serious, and everybody kind of get back at it when they can get back at it. But there's going to be adjustments like this. This will go all the way through, whenever the NCAA tournament ends. We're going to be dealing with a lot of this.
Thank you, Coach.